In Washington, D.C., on a quiet Monday morning, a report was filed. Just another folder among thousands, it listed a date, a location, a unit designation, and a single survivor. No photo, no follow-up interview, no ceremony. The names of the fallen were read once at a small base chapel, then archived. And the man who lived, Staff Sergeant Daniel Walker, walked back into a world that barely noticed he was gone. Daniel enlisted straight out of a small Ohio town where high school football mattered more than politics. He wasn't chasing glory. He just wanted stability and the quiet pride his grandfather carried after serving decades earlier. He became a steady, reliable infantryman, the kind of squad leader commanders trusted without question. The mission that changed everything was supposed to be routine. A convoy escort through a narrow valley, early morning, low-threat assessment. The kind of operation you do half awake, counting the days until you go home. Daniel checked his men like he always did: extra water, radio secure, jokes exchanged to cut the tension. No one sensed it would be their last ride together. The explosion came without warning. The world turned white, then orange, then black. The lead vehicle vanished in a roar that punched the air from Daniel's lungs. Gunfire erupted from the hillsides, sharp and relentless. Training took over. Daniel shouted orders, returned fire, dragged a wounded soldier behind cover. Then another blast. Screaming, smoke so thick it burned his eyes. When it ended, the valley was silent, except for the wind blowing through the wreckage. Reinforcements arrived to find Daniel sitting in the dirt, helmet off, staring at nothing. Back home, flags were folded, families cried. Daniel stood at funerals in his dress uniform, hearing words like hero and sacrifice, while feeling like an imposter. How do you explain surviving when the men you were responsible for didn't? The nightmare started quietly. A slammed door, fireworks on the 4th of July, anything could snap him back to the valley. He avoided crowds, avoided mirrors, avoided his own reflection. He replayed the ambush over and over, searching for one moment, one decision, one command that could have changed everything. Daniel finished his enlistment and returned to Ohio. Civilian life didn't fit. Jobs felt meaningless, conversations shallow. When people asked what he did in the army, he gave short answers. He never told them about the valley. He never told them about the letters he wrote to families, trying to explain courage without explaining guilt. Years passed. Daniel started volunteering at a veterans center, mostly fixing things: chairs, doors, broken steps. He listened more than he talked. He heard other veterans share their stories, some loud, some angry, some broken. And he slowly realized that survival carried its own kind of weight, and so many were carrying it alone. One afternoon, a young soldier came in, fresh out, his eyes hollow in a way Daniel knew all too well. He asked him quietly, "How do you live with it?" For the first time, Daniel spoke the truth he had carried in silence. "You live because they can't," he said. "And you try to make that mean something. It wasn't a movie ending?" The guilt didn't just vanish. But Daniel started telling the story not to reporters, but to those who needed to hear it. At small gatherings, in support groups, he shared the truth. His name never trended. No book deal came. But families heard how their sons fought bravely. Young soldiers learned that surviving didn't make them weak. And Daniel learned that silence wasn't honor, remembrance was. Some stories aren't told because they're uncomfortable. Survival doesn't fit neatly into hero narratives. But in quiet rooms all across the country, people like Daniel carry our history forward, not as legends, but as witnesses. He survived when others didn't, and by finally telling his story, he made sure they were never truly gone. If you or someone you know is struggling, remember you're not alone. Help is available. You can reach the Veterans Crisis Line by dialing 988 and then pressing 1. Thank you for listening.